How to use a camera, explained to you as if you are a preschooler. I got you. Have your camera. There's going to be a lot of settings that you can change it to. Most people are going to keep it on automatic, and I think that's where the problem is coming in, why people are not liking the way that their photos are turning out, because the camera's doing all the settings for you. The photos that people are liking look like this, but in order to be able to do that, you need to know how to use the camera. We're talking about how to shoot in manual, the 3 settings that you must know. I'm going to explain this like an eyeball. The first setting that you need to know is called shutter speed. You're going to think of this like your eye blinking. It is literally the shutter opening and closing. Shutter speed is going to determine how fast or how slow the actual shutter is opening. If it's going to blink fast, the photo is going to look very crisp and sharp. If it's open for longer, it's going to let more motion in, and that's how you kind of get that blurry photo effect. It's also going to affect how light or dark the photo is. Open for like a little bit, it's going to be darker. If the shutter is open for a longer period of time, more light will be let in, it's going to be a lighter photo. The faster it is, the crisper the photo is, the darker the photo is. The slower the shutter speed is, there's going to be more of a blur to the photo, but it's also going to be lighter. The second setting that you need to know is called the aperture, or the f-stop. This is going to control the size of the eye. If the eye is big, it's going to let lots of light in. The photo's going to look really bright. If the eye is really small, it's going to be a dark photo. Now this also affects the blurriness of the background. When your f-stop is, say, f over 1.8, that's going to have a blurrier background. It's also going to be lighter because the opening is bigger. If you say the f-stop is 11, f over 11, the opening is going to be a lot smaller, and the photo is not going to have a blurry background. It's going to be much more crisp throughout the entire photo. Third setting that you need to know is the ISO, and this is the sensitivity to the light. Ever taken a photo and it comes out really grainy and you're confused why? This is why. The lower the number, the darker the photo is going to be. The lighter the number, the lighter the photo is going to be. In dark situations, sometimes you have to increase your ISO. All 3 of these settings work to balance the light out and come out with this perfect exposure, but they all individually do their own thing as well. The order that I would set it up in is I prefer to set up my f-stop first. So choose how blurry you want your background. So say if you want a really focused picture with a blurry background like this, you're gonna want a bigger number. So I'm gonna do like an f2.0. F2.2. That's going to let a lot more light in. I have to keep that in mind when I'm setting my other 2 settings. I like to keep my shutter speed pretty quick so that they're going to be crisper photos. Once I have those 2 settings set, I'm going to go play around with my ISO, and based on how dark or light the photo is, that's how I'm going to set my ISO. Because the aesthetic with the flash photos is to have a dark photo, I like to keep the ISO as low as I can. I hope that makes sense, but let me know if you have any other questions.